I got a couple of fossorial tarantulas that I want to rehouse, and I want to rehouse them in glass enclosures, but there is a problem because all the glass enclosures that I built so far that I have are not really suited for this type of tarantulas. But I think that I found a solution. Let me explain. These are the ones that I'm talking about. Firstly, this is the cyriopagopus lividum. Can I take a good look at her? She's down there in her tunnel, you know. Maybe I can get her to come out so I can see. Yeah, but there it is. Cyriopagopus lividum or lividus, I'm not really sure. Anyhow, these type of tarantulas, they live in deep burrows, and in captivity we need to provide them with similar environment. We need to have an enclosure that got a lot of substrate. This is not ideal setup, but the way I'm setting up these plastic tubs, I have, you see, basically the entire tub is filled with substrate, and tarantula have a kind of long and kind of deep burrow, and the thing is I have tubs stacked on each other, so when this tub is closed, there is another tub, just, you see, just like here, another tub on it. So therefore tarantula feels like it is way deeper than it actually is, and it is dark down there, so it actually provides a nice and secure environment for the tarantula. But if I want to make a glass enclosure, I need to have a much deeper enclosure. And also, firstly, as I said, I wanted to rehouse this tarantula, but since she got a really nice burrow and I can actually see her, I decided to rehouse some other tarantula, and that will be this one, cyriopagopus minax. Also same principle, there is a lot of substrate in this enclosure, and tarantula builds burrow around the entire enclosure, and since they are stacked, it feels like it is way deeper than it actually is. Let me just give this one a roach, because, yeah, you will see. By feeding her, I will actually have a nice recording of her, and since we are going to build new enclosure, this will give plenty time for tarantula to eat the roach. Yeah, we won't be rehousing her immediately. And also, there we go, the tarantula caught the roach. Yeah, but what I want to say, I am not going to rehouse the tarantula immediately, because I need to build the enclosure, but it will be in the same video because I will be just doing time jumps as the silicone is curing. Now let me explain you the situation in regards to the enclosure and what I figure out. I mean the idea behind the enclosure design. So firstly, I have this size of the enclosure. This is the terrestrial enclosure, and I have these enclosures. These are basically the same enclosures like these, just a taller, 10 centimeters taller. Therefore, they are suitable for arboreal tarantulas. So, if I use these enclosures for the fossorial tarantulas, I mean, I can kind of put a lot of substrate inside, you see? This is a decent amount of substrate for terrestrial tarantula, but fossorial tarantulas, they prefer having a lot more substrate. So I was thinking, since these are basically the same enclosures, same size, and I use the same door system on both, what if I just take this door, smaller door, and put it here and just increase the height of this bottom panel. So these doors are 10 centimeters taller than these doors. So that means that this panel needs to be 10 centimeters taller, and then basically the design will be the same, everything will be the same, just this bottom part will be taller, which will enable me to put a lot more substrate in this enclosure. Yeah, that is my big idea, but I think that it will work. It will definitely provide a nice enclosure for fossorial tarantula. Another thing that I want to show you, look at this plant. It is sprouting new leaves, you see? Right here. Also here, you see? And basically on each tip of the plant there is a new sprout, which is nice. That means that this plant settled nicely. It will soon be much taller, much bigger, and it will fill more of the enclosure. Very nice, right? And before we start with the enclosure build, let me show you another big tarantula that molted in the dark den. You see? Do you know which tarantula is this? At least I'm convinced that majority of you can recognize that this is a Pokey, a Petzotteria. Yeah, it is a Petzotteria regalis. Let me show her. She is right there, super fresh still. You see she webbed around nicely, and unfortunately I wasn't here to record that, otherwise you would be looking at sweet time-lapse of that right now, but unfortunately I don't have that. Actually, a lot of time passed since I managed to record some time-lapse of torrential molting. Yeah, hopefully once I move here the situation will change. But there she is. Let me just blow a bit so she moves, so you can see that she is alive. Yeah. Okay, also check out the gang on the left and on the right. But at least I snatched the mold before she managed it, which is a great thing because, you know, I need to restore the former glory of this mold background, and you see I don't have a regalis over there, so that will be excellent thing. Anyhow, now we can start with the enclosure build. Let me get this out of the way and let's get down to business. As you can see, this is the back panel and bottom panel. I already got them silicone together because I got that done a long time ago. These are the smaller enclosures you see. These are shorter ones, and these are the arboreal ones. I already got all the bottom panel and back panels silicone together. But you know how that goes. You just take two panels, silicone them together and put them beside some wall or something, whatever provides you with 90 degrees angle. As I said, I plan to do a new guide on how to make a glass enclosure for your tarantula or any creepy crawler. In that one I will talk about this process in greater detail, unlike now where I will just build it and that will be it. One side, bottom side. I missed the spot here, I see. Here I have the sides prepared, which is also a straightforward thing. So a time jump, and it is cured. Now to flip it on the other side and do the same thing all over again with the other glass, with the other side panel. And after this we will need to do one more jump because we need to silicone the front panel. That will be the last one. Okay, that's it, time jump. And this will actually be a kind of tricky part because I didn't even mention it. We need to cut the glass for the front panel, and even though I have experience with cutting glass, this won't be the first time. It is kind of easy to mess up, especially when we only need to cut off this narrow section, and that can be tricky. When you have a large panel and you are cutting it on half, it is really easy because you have a lot of area to maneuver around and to break it. But you will see. And firstly, one thing, another update. In the meantime, in between the time jump, look who molted. Another tarantula, another big tarantula. Can you maybe guess who this is? If you cannot, let me show her in the new dress. Yes, that's it. Look, it is the one over here, you see. Let me open the door. Ooh, gently. This one, this is Petzotteria Metallica, of course, if you don't know. Her name is Cat. Yeah, just like the tarantula cat. There is a certain reason why that is her name, but check her out now. Even though she kind of losing slowly that blue coloration, she's becoming more and more black, she's still really beautiful. Yeah, so sweet, right? So now that means that two neighboring pokies molted, this Petzotteria regalis and this Petzotteria Metallica. Pretty cool, more molds for the mold board, mold background. Let me move this around, take this tripod and let's cut this glass. For that operation I'm using this. This is the special knife that only purpose is cutting glass. So all I need to do is press it down and pull it on a straight line. Easy, right? Yeah, easier said than done. Let's go. Okay, I think that's it. Now I just put it on the side and break it off. But since this is really short, I will try to put something really heavy on this end and then break it with this longer side. Let me just get something. This big enclosure should do the trick. This is the enclosure of Petzotteria formosa, and she's usually never outside, but currently you can see her right here, right? Can you see? Maybe you can, maybe you cannot. Anyhow, where is the glass? Here. You see, this is the idea. So 3, 2, 1. Oh no, it didn't break correctly. Why? This is what I'm talking about. This is the problem. Damn, do I have more of these? It is really tricky to cut such a short end. It would be so easy if this was on a half. Let me try it once again. I think that I have another sheet of glass. Oh yes, thankfully these are the correct dimension. I wasn't certain if I got more. Second attempt. I tried to be more intensive this time. Hopefully it will help. This time I placed it under the Gigas enclosure. You see, that is far heavier, so hopefully now it will work. Fingers crossed, right? 3, 2, 1. Yes! Perfect, you see. Thankfully that worked, because if it didn't, I didn't have an alternative. Now, when you do that, when you cut the glass, the edge is really sharp. So you need to take a sanding paper and sand the edges. Otherwise you can really easily cut yourself. So I will do just that. And just a little bit of sanding is enough. Only to remove that sharp edge. There we go. I cannot cut myself. Now, as I'm siliconing this, I need to address one kind of important thing. I know that a lot of you are really sad because of me reducing the amount of videos on 1 per week. And a lot of you are giving me advice on what to do to maintain the 2 videos per week. But there is one secret reason why I also cannot record 2 videos per week anymore. I mean, I can, but the reason that is kind of preventing me, and I didn't really told you that. Now certain amount of time passed and it is safe for me to tell you. The thing is, Maya, my wife, she's pregnant and we will have baby. Yay! The baby reveal. And also the house is still not finished and there is a lot of work that I'm doing by myself on it. And by doing 2 videos per week, I'm kind of torn up between all the work that I need to do in the dark den, all the need that I need to put up in videos, and also all the work that I need to do for the house. And in order to prepare the house, to make sure that we move here and the house is ready for us before the baby comes, I need to increase the amount of work that I do here. So that is also one of the reasons. I mean, it is not the main reason. I'm also kind of running out of new content, but that is one important thing that made me decide this. Even though to you guys it seems like it just came out of blue, I was thinking about it for past months. Should I do that or shouldn't I do that? Because we knew that we will get baby for some time now, but I didn't really want to reveal it before we know that everything is all right. And thankfully everything is all right. And we actually know the gender of the baby. It will be a girl. She will be a girl. We still don't know the name though. But as that changes, I will sure to let you know. And all of a sudden it started to be really warm in here, even more warm than it used to be. Anyhow, that is it. Now you know. Now we need to wait for this to cure once again. So another time jump, and now this is the part when all the magic happens. The time when this glass box becomes an actual enclosure, a functional enclosure. And these are the parts that enables that transformation. You see, these are the 3D printed parts that I customly made, that I customly designed and developed during last few years, tested and developed to make sure that it is functional, that it works. I'm still not 100% happy with the design because these pins, you know, these are the ones that hold the door in place. They are kind of not strong enough, but in the future, I don't plan to 3D print these parts. Once I'm settled with the design, I want to make a mold so I can make these out of solid plastic. That is the idea, but making those molds is really expensive. So first I need to be 100% sure that the design is ready. So now I am connecting most of them to the glass with this M3 tape, or it is actually called 3M tape. Yeah, 3M. I'm connecting this. That is the ventilation, this one on the side, also this one that goes on the door, but the final one is connected with this 2-component epoxy adhesive. Yeah, because that top one needs to be the strongest. You will see that kind of briefly now, but as I said, I won't be going into greater details. I plan to sell these kits, so all of you that are crafty enough can order the one for yourself and make your very own enclosure. That is the idea, and that is also the reason why I don't really want to just give away the designs for 3D printing, because I was developing them for a few years now and it is my precious project baby. As you know, this type of enclosure you cannot really buy anywhere, and I think, at least in my eyes, it is super practical. So of course that is something that I want to do in the future, to sell it, to sell the parts for all of you. And also all of you that aren't crafty, I intend to make the enclosures, the actual enclosures. Just selling these parts is far easier than shipping the entire enclosure, you know. And what is great when it comes to assembling the enclosure by yourself, you can make it as tall or as short as your animal needs. You can also easily make it longer to make more room inside. It can be easily customizable, which is a great thing. You see, this is the great example. I needed the enclosure with more substrate, and by using the same parts as for the arboreal enclosures or terrestrial enclosures, I'm making a different type of enclosure. And you can see it is really easy to assemble. If you can make the glass part, you can easily make the door part, the door mechanism. Now the two-component epoxy. This is so far the only type of glue that can somewhat reliably connect the glass to the PLA that I'm using for 3D printing. But once I'm doing the molded plastic thingies, I think that I can use different type of plastic that can be kinda easier to connect with the glass. At least I'm hoping for that. Now we put door at its place and finish it with this part. And we are almost there. We just need the top panel. That I also need to silicone. I forgot about that, so we will need to do another time jump. And you see now, it opens just like that. Functional, it works. The reason why I'm connecting this with this, it is because in order to open the door, you need to lift them up. And with that, you are hitting with force this part. That's why it needs to hold down, because you see, when you push it up, you hit this. That enables the door to open, but it needs to be strong over here. Okay, the top panel, and then we are done. This is the slidable part that you can take on and off if you need. While here on top goes the ventilation and also the glass panel. So let's silicone that. This part is not removable and won't be removable. You see, I put this glass here. It blocks this sliding part to slide back. And here comes the ventilation. This is made out of metal and it is cut to appropriate size and also painted black. Now, this is, I promise you, one final time jump, and now we can finally set up the enclosure. Yeah, this will now be the enclosure that got the deepest substrate level from all the enclosures that I previously set up. Because as I said, this is now 17 centimeters. My terrestrial enclosures over there that I got, they usually got like 10 centimeters of this thing, this front panel. Well, this is 17. So I'm pretty sure that Tarantula will enjoy this so much. And it will be interesting to see if it will really dig up everything. I mean, if it will make the burrow that will be deep all the way down. It probably will. It definitely will. In the future I should make like a test, an experiment to see how deep the tarantula will go, to make even deeper enclosure with more substrate. Okay, this is it. That is the main idea now. To make a starter burrow right here, so it will be nice and visible. Or maybe should I do it on the side of the enclosure? Yeah, I will do it on the side of the enclosure, and then the tunnel will go basically on the glass, and we will be able to see the tarantula all the time, even when it is in the burrow. So another try, there, like that. Let me grab a small cork bark to put it above the tunnel, so then I can put substrate on the tunnel, like that. And then I can put substrate above, you see, just like that, to actually make a tunnel. And also I would like to add some plant, but I'm not sure if I will be able to find something. I snatched a carpet of these plants from the frog vivarium. They have a lot, so they won't miss it like at all. Water it down a bit, the plants especially. And now the enclosure is ready for the tarantula. Should we do it safely or a little bit less safely, but with tarantula being more visible? Although this time, you see, tarantula is hiding in the tunnel. I was hoping that it will still be staying here, so I will just able to push it in the enclosure, but it won't be as easy. Need to get it first out of its tunnel. Ooh, this is fast tarantula. Ooh, are you seeing that? No, not really. just go in the new enclosure. It will be, yes, oh, perfect, got it. Is this just pure luck or skill? You decide, but the tarantula went straight into the hide. All right, you are an experiment, so show us what you got, show us what you can do with that tunnel and with this amount of substrate. Hopefully by the time I'm recording next video, there will be enough progress in this enclosure to show over there. But I will show you the progress regardless, but hopefully the progress will be big. Hopefully she will make a deep tunnel in like a few days. I'm thinking that that will happen for sure. They are quick to dig for tunnels, and probably there will be a lot of substrate outside that I will need to constantly take out as the tarantula is digging the hole. Okay, that's it. This is the end of the video. I'm really satisfied with the result, and I hope that you enjoyed the whole process. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload every Monday and Friday, so see you again soon. No, not Monday, Friday. No. I upload only on Monday, not on Friday. So see you again in a week. Bye.